The Dark Room, exploring the strange and controversial, with your hosts, Paul Salvatori and Jordan Randall. Today we're talking with Toronto horrorcore rapper Trash Gordon.
All right, so yeah, thanks, man, for coming out and
Not a
doing
problem.
this. It's fantastic. So you've got a new single out, and
I do.
It's called Night Terrors.
It is.
I had the pleasure of working on that music video with you, and it was a blast. That's how I met Trash Gordon, and yeah, he's a super interesting guy and super awesome music. And that song is now #1 on which site is that?
Just some bullshit site. I think I was just, I was trying to distribute the song pretty much everywhere it would go, and I seen someone share a link saying that there's a charting system on that site. So I said, for fun, I'll upload it. And normally I only put effort into sites that I find have like a legitimacy, like it's the outlet is more legitimate than Reverb Nation and stuff. To me is a corny bullshit site. So I just uploaded it to see, because I'm like, my song's amazing and everyone else on the site probably blows dick, right? So if I upload it, I must be #1. It's the only, or the site is flawed. If I don't become #1 with no effort and just let my music carry it to #1, then this site is bullshit.
Of course.
And so I uploaded the song and the picture of my single, like the artwork, and then 3 weeks, and now it's #1 on their chart because it's amazing. And I literally did nothing to it. I shared it after it became high up on the charts, and I was like, oh, by the way, and it got like 2,000 plays. I didn't put any effort into it, so that's always, free promo is always good. Should I name the site? Number1music.com is the name of the site. I give them some credit since they gave me 2,000 plays, and I got some fan mail and people buying the music too from it, which is surprising for zero effort.
Well, I think the moral of that story is don't put effort into it.
Yeah, never. If you put effort, you seem desperate.
Right.
And if people know you're desperate, they don't want to help you.
Yeah, no, they see it's bait.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They only want to
Let
help
the music
people who
speak for itself. Yeah.
they want to help people who don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
They want to help people who don't need it. If you need help, I don't want to help you.
That's right.
Right? I want to give my money to the rich, and I want to run away and spit on the poor.
For sure. Right. There's effort on their part if they're trying to help out someone who needs help, right?
Yeah.
It's like I think the key here is to not have effort by anybody.
Yeah.
So the site doesn't want to put in any effort. The musician doesn't want to put any effort, and that is the perfect marriage.
Yes.
Effortless.
Absolutely.
Yes. And there's always this fantasy that fans will like your music and that won't carry the music. So as long as your music is good, it will carry itself. But that's not really true. Because, you listen to the radio and you're like, well, do you think this is on here because it's amazing? Well, we all know that, there's a business.
Yeah,
this is a business. This isn't just, let's make some great tracks and become rock stars kind of shit, right?
That's right. But that's interesting, though. In terms of music, basically, especially radio-friendly music and top 40 and all that stuff, it is such a business. How do you take it? When you're trying to get your music out there, do you have to sort of walk the line between business and artistic creative freedom?
Yeah, there's a million ways to advertise, and you got to find one that's appropriate for the type of music you're making. I'm not going to advertise on Betty Crocker's website, and say, listen to Trash Gordon's new single about, fist fucking or whatever. And people are going to be just, I'm going to attract the wrong type of listeners and I'm going to get negative attention. There was a song I made called I Might Wear a Mask If You're Lucky, which is obviously the title says what the song's about. But I made the song as a way to be funny and brutal, and I kind of made like a song that juggalos would like, Yeah. And I figured, I could, because I hadn't written a funny song in a while since my first album, so I figured I'll write a funny song because I haven't written one with ridiculous punchlines. And then I was at a butcher shop, and I seen that goat heads were on sale for $3. And it's a real animal's head, the entire head, $3.
$3.
Change in your pocket, you get to buy a head of an animal.
Wow.
That costs less than taking the train.
Who wouldn't buy it? That's what you think, right? That's a steal. What are you going to use it for? I don't know. I'll figure that out later, right? So I bought that animal head. I took it home, and I decided I'm going to make a video where I use this as a puppet, and I don't use it speaks through me. I speak through the puppet.
Right.
So I figure I'll pick a funny song since it's a ridiculous concept. And I first started and I tried and I realized that the animal's jaw was locked and the muscles, so I had to take a knife and saw his jaw muscles up so I could get the mouth working like a puppet. Eventually I did, and I made the video, and then I didn't know what to do with it because I felt like it had viral potential because of how absurd it was. So I sent it to a hip-hop station called Vlad TV,
Right.
which is fairly popular. They
Yeah.
have like 500,000 subscribers. And I asked him, hey, do you want to upload this on your site? And he said, sure. And then he uploaded it, and then within the day I had 5,000 views and so much hate mail. It was unbelievable. I was up to my ears and people, what the fuck is this? White people are fucked up. This is the most fucked up bullshit I've ever seen in my life. So obviously I marketed that incorrectly, but I felt the attention was still, it was nice to see.
Still attention, right?
Yeah, it was still attention. Yeah. But yeah, I probably should have just put that on my own YouTube page where everyone would have just been like, oh, this is the best. You know, this is Bible. We love this.
For sure.
Yeah, people don't get the creativity.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm just being an artist. You don't understand.
You kind of brought the animal back to life, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a resurrector of sorts, a
The animal
reanimator.
started animating again, right? So you do horrorcore, right?
I
And so
do.
People. I know people are all loving hip hop right now, but not a lot of people know about horrorcore. What is that for you, and how'd you get into it?
I felt it was polarizing, you know, at a time where Lil Wayne was popular and Soldier Boy was on TV dancing about shoes and stuff or rubber band necklaces and saying retarded sounds like he was, you know, like he was withheld from oxygen in,
Right.
in the canal, the birth canal. That's what he seems like to me, you know.
Right.
Or fetal alcohol syndrome or something, you know, like, and then you just kind of get fed up because I grew up listening to like Mobb Deep and DMX and like really hardcore stuff, and then this stuff was becoming popular when I was about 17, 18, and I just was like not with it. I was totally without it, and so I wanted to make something that would polarize that. Like, so they were talking about the nonsense they were talking about. I want to talk about something that would just blow people away and just shock the shit out of them in a funny way. And I wanted it to be entertaining. My music had to be entertaining. Like, this is hip hop. It's not the most musical genre. It's not like we're just killing it with progressive riffs that just blow people's minds. We're just rhyming with a beat. You know, if you're not saying something interesting, why the fuck are you even doing it? Right? So I wanted to do something entertaining, so I would make ridiculous punchlines about grotesque things, some rape jokes, some things to get people's attention, you know, disembowelment, and do it in a funny way.
Right.
And that's what I discovered. It doesn't matter what your context is. If you're funny, you're funny. People are going to laugh what you say, whether you're talking about ponies or anal sex, right?
Right. So where do you see
Sometimes both.
Yeah. No, where do you see hip hop right now generally?
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know what to say to it. I don't even know. Even the underground is turning into garbage. Some of the guys I used to work with are now, it's just ridiculous. The dancing, the whole bit is just, it's just silly. It makes me want to listen to MC Hammer and go back and go, this is the shit now. In comparison, Vanilla Ice is the shit. Vanilla Ice kept it real in compared to what we hear now.
Right. And, you know, with horrorcore, you know, some of those topics you're mentioning about gore and violence and all that, I don't think most MCs could even do it because it's a scary place. So what do you think, I mean, in your own experience, what does it take to be a horrorcore MC?
You know, that's funny.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I started out, you know, it wasn't as creative. You have to go really deep because you want to say stuff that no one's ever said. Like, it's like a lot like when you're a director of a horror movie.
Right.
The kills have to be the movie. Right. How creative are your kills? If your kills aren't creative, the weapons used, the way they were killed, what was hit with what weapon or what object or what animal or creature or whatever has to be never been done and entertaining at the same time. And that's where you have to be creative. So when I was younger, I'd write dumb shit like, oh, I'll pull your nose or your brains through your nostril, and, you know, just dumb shit that's like, oh yeah, of course you will. You know, that's what you do, right? And then when you get older, you're like, you know, I'll shove my damn fist in and tear out the fetus like hillbilly ham fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's where you start to just entertain people with just dumb shit, basically. But, like, it's entertaining. You know, it's not the most musical thing, It's definitely not radio friendly, but it's entertaining and it's creative. You got to think outside the box. Like how I don't know. I always liked horror movies, and I always watched horror movies for that reason. Like the kills have to be creative. Like have to be like I've never seen that weapon used or that body part be whatever the fuck just happened to it. That's amazing. I like this movie now.
Yeah, I mean, these last few days, especially since Jordan told me we'd be doing this podcast, I've been listening to a lot of your music, and what stands out are a couple things. Like, there might be two influences there that have been a big part of your music: horror movies, and maybe even rock, like hard rock metal. Is that?
Yes.
Do you think that's,
oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to secretly be more of a rock star than I want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
I mean, that's gotten you a bigger audience, you think?
It's interesting because it's a broader audience, but I'm still like with the Gunpowder Solution project with the Night Terror single.
Right.
It's a different crowd. So a lot of people that were into underground hip hop are strictly into listening to the lyrics. Your beats are real primitive. You just slap together some drums over a sample that you ripped off of an old horror movie or something, and you looped. But this stuff is it's a much broader audience, but it takes more time to penetrate and more effort and more money and more, you have to be more clever with your strategy, the way you market it. You know, you can't just, like I got to the point where I made a song and then people would instantly just love it. Because with rap, I would just make a song, put it out, boom, everyone loved it. And then I got bored. Right. I didn't want to do something else. And then I started the project with the band. And I started doing things a little differently, the way I wrote the songs too and the way I performed them. And it's a broader audience, but it's something more fulfilling to me as I progressed in life. I wanted to progress with my music, but it's very different, I think, because I think my first album was really gritty, and I made a certain amount of fans, and I had fans following me around, coming to every show, signing autographs, all this stuff. And then my second album was a little bit more cleaned up, and I was working with people like Mad Child from Swollen Members and like more credible artists, and so I had a cleaner sound. And it wasn't as like just nasty, gritty. You could hear my voice better. I wasn't just going blah, 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 right? And then I'd say 50% of my fans didn't like me anymore. They called me a sellout. But then I gained more fans with the new stuff. Some of the fans hung on. I find the fans always rotate. Right. Like you get like these 10 fans that are there every day, no matter what you do. But they're always changing. When one leaves, a new one comes in out of nowhere, and he's there. And then and they always change. Like, I guess that's what they used to call groupies back in the day. Before groupies were just bitches that blew you behind the curtains, right? Right. The groupies used to be like just diehard fans that follow the band around and rep it, and get in the pit and get everybody slam dancing and shit, which is also something that most rappers don't have going on at their shows.
Yeah, that's true. That's like more,
That's my goal is like I want every person who comes to my show to have a broken nose, a fractured finger,
It just gets total chaos.
That's what I'd like.
Yeah. It's like you leave with a souvenir.
Yeah, but with hip hop shows, it's it's put your hands up. Yeah. Everybody puts their hands up. We all go to the beat. It's fun and all, but after you do that 100 times, you're like, okay, put your hands down. I don't really care. Fuck off. Well, you want to see me rap the same fucking song I just rapped? Fucking, I've been doing this like I was sick of this song before it was even mastered.
Right.
Let alone performed 100 times in a row. So then sometimes when I was doing just rap and I was doing the same set every show, and then eventually I cut songs halfway off, like that, I'm done with that one. Next. Right. Yeah. And they'd be like, what? So like one guy singing along in the front row was like, why'd you stop? And I'm like, fuck you. That's why I knew I had to change my shit up.
You're not catering to the audience. You're just doing your thing.
I don't. If I was catering to the audience, I'd be making different kind of music, right? Because if I was catering to the audience, I'd be more concerned about saying things that people find appropriate.
Like we're just now in this culture, wherever you look, whether we're talking about music, advertising, fashion, all these things are supposed to be artistic. It's all gimmick. It's all there's some guy behind the scenes, and he's like vetting people's ideas. Oh, this is not going to appeal to this demographic.
Exactly.
And it's just like, where's the art in all that?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you don't want to be an if that's what an artist is now, why even bother?
It's to the point where selling out is now the appropriate thing to do. It's not like before selling out was you're a fucking disco artist, you're a narc, go fuck yourself, right? We don't like you. Now selling out is the thing to do. If you sell out, you made it. Good for you. Because I remember when I was really like a teenager, if you were on a major label as a rapper, you were a cunt. We didn't like you. You were a fuck you, right? Because we all know what you're rapping about. Shoes. You're a walking commercial.
Right.
You're a TV commercial. You're a fucking bank commercial. You could sit there and promote TD bonds instead of fucking You know, like, or they promote vodka and sneakers and women's hair extensions and shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded.
I know it's become about all that cross promotion.
It's like what happened to music, right?
Exactly. I mean, but at least with like Wu-Tang Mob. Do you remember in the '90s the thing to have was like Nautica, Hilfiger, Polo,
Yeah.
all that stuff? At least they were owning it in a way that this is just what I like to wear because I stole it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
But it wasn't yet about about the guests.
It wasn't
the
about,
guests that
like,
they were stealing their parka. It's just like
you should wear this because we endorse
like,
you, or we
exactly.
endorse you
It's just-
because you wear
that's right.
this. That's the difference, right?
Right, yeah.
Like if I was going to take a sponsorship, it would be for something I truly believe in.
Right.
Or I truly use in everyday life, like this Monster drink I'm drinking.
Right.
If they wanted to sponsor me, fuck yeah, because I drink it every day, whether you sponsor me or not. But if Jägermeister, for example, who offered me to send in a thing to see if I wanted it, I don't drink alcohol at all.
Yeah.
So for me, why am I going to get sponsored by them? I got to do shots with their guys. And I remember going to a party, and we're all there, and the CEO basically of Canada or North America is there, and we're all expected to take a shot with him. So I just threw it over my shoulder. Hey, hit some guy in the fucking back of the head. Like nobody saw it, but like for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna drink this. I never fucking drank alcohol in my life. I'm not gonna drink this to please these people.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I threw it over my shoulder, put it back on the tray. Sent the broad on her way.
So I was reading your bio, and
wow.
you grew up in Scarborough.
Yes.
Yeah? So what was it like for you? It sounded a little strained, to say the least. Maybe. Like, did that affect, or does that affect the way you make music now?
Definitely did, and still probably does.
Yeah.
I think my childhood affects my music more now because I have much more of a 90s sound to it than I used to.
Right.
But I grew up in a family. It was kind of like an Irish Trailer Park Boys, in Scarborough kind of vibe, like Sons of Anarchy meets Trailer Park Boys. If you could put those two together, and you'd have a lot of antics.
Yeah.
Right, and things to watch as a child where you're very confused, like this is normal, and then you grow up and you realize this is not normal. This is not how functional people behave. This is just comedic almost. So I always had a good, a sense of humor about it. That's for sure. Like I still get along with everybody, my parents and everything, even though we're very different people. We live very different lifestyles, obviously. But yeah, in my music, like I grew up with my sister. My older sister in the 90s, when I was a little kid, used to listen to Nirvana and Offspring and all the 90s, pop punk. I guess at the time it was popular punk, but now it's just punk.
Yeah.
If you go back, you listen to what pop punk is now.
Yeah.
And then my dad used to listen to Zeppelin and Sabbath and Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie and Sex Pistols and that was always blaring. Always that kind of music was like the soundtrack of my life as a child. And I think it's affected me more now as a grown man. Like when I go back to like, what kind of music do I want to make? And I sit down, I'm like, that's what I feel. I feel that type of stuff, that mood, the nostalgia from that. That's the kind of music I want to make.
Right.
Whether it's 20 years old or not, I think it's time that kind of stuff. Everything has its time, right? And then sometimes it comes back. And I've noticed now with the radio, like rock and roll stations, the music is getting better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not just playing classic rock tunes anymore that are 30 years old. Now they're playing guys that came out yesterday that sound like they came out in the 60s.
Absolutely. So, like, I know you've done a lot of collaboration. You were talking about the Mad Child collaboration. You've done a lot of collaborations, I noticed online. So which one do you think is the most memorable?
Definitely the Mad Child one. Because when I was a teenager, he was like my idol, right?
Yeah.
He was my hero. Like Swollen Members was the shit for hip-hop because of how it was textured. Like the music had a real depth to it, and he always put effort into his writing, you could tell back then, right? And so he has this whole movement called the Battle Axe Warriors and stuff. But this is before I contacted him before this started, actually, because I had a song called "Knife Goes In, Guts Come Out."
Yeah, I heard it.
And that was my first song that became popular.
Yeah.
Because I sampled The Simpsons, and it was just a hilarious song.
Oh, okay, that's where I
took it from the episode, and then I threw some piano on it, and that was the song. But I sent him that song, or his girlfriend, or his manager, whoever it was at the time. I just found his contact info. I don't know how I found it. Can't remember. But at the time, because I was just like, I really wanted to do something, because this is where I was going to start my second project. My first album was finished. I wanted to do something bigger.
Right.
I wanted to take that huge step that the competition wasn't taking. Like other guys that were in the same scene as me were just continuing to make the second album exactly like the first. So I wanted to do something bigger. I wanted to reach for something I couldn't achieve. And at the time, he was nowhere to be seen. He was in obscurity because no one had heard of Swollen Members at the time, and all the new guys haven't heard of it, and the old guys figured he'd retired a long time ago. So did I. I'm like, I haven't heard from him in years, but I'd love to get him on a track, get like a legend, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
So I sent him a Knife Goes In Guts come out, and about 6 months passed.
Right.
By this time, I forgot all about it. I just assumed, like, I sent Alice Cooper messages to see if he wanted to collaborate.
cool.
Obviously, not everyone's going to reply,
Right.
right? His manager's going to throw it in the garbage. Like, who the fuck is this guy, right? So 6 months later, I get a message from his manager saying, oh, he really likes your song and he'd like to collaborate if you have the beat ready and everything. And I didn't. And I wanted to make sure it was, you know, really sharp beat. So I just ran home and I started contacting the producers that I was working with, because my first album, I produced it myself, but my production skills were fairly primitive. They were good in a way, but they were really primitive. And if I wanted to do a song with him, I felt it had more potential
Right.
to blow up and become popular amongst just regular hip-hop fans, not just horrorcore. Not to say that I was going to change my lyrics, because my lyrics are still brutal in that song. But so then I sent him the song, and I told him he needs to make a chorus, or he needs to do the chorus with me. We need to do the chorus together, so it's not just like I purchased a verse and he sent it to me via email and I just copy and pasted it on there, and this is our musical collaboration. Because that's not really collaborating musically.
Yes.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like playing chess on the internet.
That's
you know,
right.
it's not the same as playing chess in person. When you just, you're like, you know, it's just, I thought that was fucking stupid, right? So, and he just sent me a song with half of chorus and a verse. And the chorus was like, I have to make another half a chorus. I'm like, but how am I going to do that, right? Because I have to make sure I rhyme the exact same way he was rhyming, but differently. I don't want to copy him. And I want to make it, you know, I still want to have the song to have some integrity. I don't want to be stupid. But now he's in charge of the chorus, and I was just kind of becoming his song more than mine, right?
Yeah.
And so then I just, you know, turned off the lights, lay down on the floor 10, 20 minutes, and then bam, wrote the chorus. And then I went in and recorded it and did my verse.
Nice.
Which, you know, you grow as an artist. I could do it better now if like, performance-wise, I could do a better job today than I did then.
Likes the final? He likes the final product? Do you
Oh,
know?
yeah. He was down with the final product. And then I ended up doing a show with him
Cool.
shortly after
Yeah.
in Toronto at the Rock Pile.
Oh, yeah.
One of those things. I've done maybe 10 shows with him since then, though.
Right.
And because I ended up sharing his fan base with him after this song, so it was like signing autographs and doing all that shit for all the kids that are going nuts. But as soon as I didn't join that Battle Axe Warrior movement, everyone's just like, what the fuck are you? This is a brotherhood. You got to be part of the brotherhood. And I'm like, man, I did this song before the brotherhood existed. I just didn't want to join because it was like a bandwagon. You know, I didn't want to jump on the bandwagon. I'd rather start a bandwagon. I don't want to jump on a bandwagon,
Right.
you know. I'm not trying to say I'm above it or it's beneath me, but at the same time, I'm not a fan. Like, I am a fan, but I'm a professional, you know. I'm not here to suck his dick, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then just be like, oh, if he even went near me, I just love my life right now. But the funniest thing was when I met him in person the first time, he came up to me across the room. It was during sound check. It was with La Coca Nostra and Swollen Members, I think, or it was with Sid Wilson from Slipknot and Mad Child were headlining, and I was opening. I was the main supporting act at the time. And he comes up to me across the room and he says, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Mad Child from Swollen Members." And the first thing I noticed is he's only like 5 foot tall, which blew my mind because I've seen pictures of him and Prevail from Swollen Members. I thought Prevail was like 6'2" or something, and Mad Child was my height because I just assumed because he's my hero, he must be exactly like me, right? This is just the way it is. But no, he was really small. I'm not a very big guy, but I was like, whoa, okay, nice to meet you. I shook his hand. And then he left, comes back 2 minutes later. "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Mad Child from Swollen Members again." "Oh, yeah, I just met you about 30 seconds ago." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, and we have a song together." Oh yeah. How's it doing? It's doing good. All right, yo, let me tweet me it so I can retweet it and get it started. I'm like, it's already started. It's got 60,000 plays. It's doing great. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. Then he comes back 5 minutes later. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Mad Child from Swollen Members.
Seriously?
I'm like, hey, I just met you 3 times today. And he's like, oh, word. Oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm Trash Gordon. We did a song together. And he's like, oh, yeah, what's it called? Fuck Love. Oh, how's it going? It's going good. Oh, you should tweet it to me so I can retweet it and get it started. Dude, it's already started.
No way.
I feel like this is like the Matrix deja vu. This isn't normal deja vu. This is like the Matrix just skipped a beat.
That's right.
There's a glitch in the Matrix
glitch
right
in the
now.
system.
I'm doing something so cool in my head that something is not. They're like the Matrix is like, what have you done? You're not supposed to do stuff like this. This is too cool for you. You're not supposed to meet rock stars, and then this guy's not supposed to be here. And it was like really weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I've met producers, famous producers, and that's how they tend to, or just famous people in the urban industry, and they do introduce themselves typically like that. And I'm wondering if that's them or the publicist or whoever's telling them, you know, when you introduce, you got to say it like this. Say your first name and then the company you're with. You got to
say
keep
your
it pro.
gimmick name. Yeah. Hi, I'm, like doctors. Like, hi, I'm a PhD.
Exactly.
You know, I'm
Like,
so-and-so,
it's the first name.
PhD.
Because normally you don't introduce yourself that way to anyone. Like, you just say hi.
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's
like
absurd.
a politician, yeah.
It's an absurd way to introduce yourself, especially because his actual name is what? Shane Bunting.
Okay.
So he could just say, hey, I'm Shane, what's up? Like, that's how I introduce myself. And I go, hi, I'm Trash Gordon. I have a band called Gunpowder Solution. Nice to meet you. Would you like an autograph?
Sorry.
I assume you want an autograph. I assume that you're starstruck meeting me. Like,
that's a default.
Yeah, I assume this is a big moment for you. I am a big deal. This is a big thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go over here now, and then I'm going to introduce myself again in 5 minutes.
That's so interesting. Man. You know, like the music you're mentioning now, like Mad Child, Slipknot, yours.
Yeah.
It all, I know that it's all pretty like popular. It's embraced in the Juggalo scene, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like
Which is,
I find it's the whole
that's a
subculture is
peculiar
really
scene.
subculture. It's so interesting. So maybe you could just comment on why you think that is. Like, but maybe for the people who don't even know what the Juggalos are. Like,
you know, I found out when I opened for a group called Twisted.
Right.
Which is they're Juggalo Kings, apparently.
Right.
And I went and I got up on stage, and the entire audience was painted and clown-faced. Like killer clowns, though, not like purple wigs and shit.
Yeah.
Right? But they were the whole audience. And they kept going, whoop, whoop, whoop. They wouldn't fucking stop, right? Yeah. They wouldn't stop. And then the family.
Yeah, family. That's a huge thing.
And I'm like, if I hear whoop, whoop one more fucking time, someone's getting smashed with the fucking microphone.
There must have been Faygo, like Faygo pop.
Faygo, yeah. That's the cheapest, flattest tasting fucking bullshit pop, but they love it.
It's like their champagne, right?
Yeah, it is the Bible to them. They reach to it.
I finally found a spot here in Toronto that sells it. It's $1. It's not $1.
You have to really be passionate about the scene to pretend to like the fucking pop, right? Like to drink it and go, that's worth it. You really have to be committed as a lifestyle choice.
Because it's like budget pop. That's really what it is.
It is. It's like RC fucking cola. It's garbage. It's the shit that, your conservative grandma would have in the fridge. Diet version.
That's right. Not even in the fridge, but in the basement.
In the
like,
basement,
away
and it would
bulk,
smell like everything stored next to it, taste like it, Let's be honest.
It's an old cantina.
Yeah, you got to be careful because, they're an easily offended crowd, though. And a lot of them do like my stuff, and I appreciate that. And I like a lot of their stuff, too. Like, for example, ICP, I used to listen to their album, Great Malenko, and I thought it was great. It's a good album, actually, in terms of ICP and what they do. But as rappers, like lyricists, you can't put them on that scale and try to judge them because you're only gonna let yourself down or not like them. Mm-hmm. But you can't judge them like that. Just like I don't judge Rob Zombie as a lyricist. Mm-hmm. He's a musician, Yeah. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt and try to appreciate it for what it is rather than what it isn't.
Right.
So a lot of people are confused with ICP and the Juggalo movement, thinking they're all rappers. Mm-hmm. Technically, they are because they're not doing anything else. Right? It's not like they're playing a fiddle or singing or playing drums. They are rapping, but it's not conventional.
Yeah.
It's like what I do, but more laid back, less technical, less musical, less rhythmic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it does have its place, and you can appreciate it. And that's why like guys like me or like Mad Child or even guys like Tech Nine who are rappers, legit rappers, are also appreciated in that scene because I guess because of the content similarities or just the image. Like Tech Nine paints his face and he gets on stage and he has all the. I opened for him a few times. He's an amazing performer, right? I don't know how the fuck he does that shit. So they love him, right? And then they love, what else do they like? They like Coolio, for example. Yeah. Like, what the fuck, right? They like everybody that you think they would like, except for the Beastie Boys, which I'd assume they would fucking love them. Yeah. Because the Beastie Boys are like the God version of them. They're like immaculate. They hate them because ICP and them had beef or something in the 90s, and now they have to pretend they don't like them. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes fans get fickle.
You've ever been down there, the Gathering of the Juggalos?
No, I was invited a couple times, but I know I have friends that I work with and perform with, and they go every year to do the show, like to perform, and it's crazy apparently. But to me, I'm not a party guy, and to be trapped in a farmer's field full of drunken clowns is just not my cup of tea, right? Because I can just imagine the drugs, the alcohol, the clown makeup, the wigs, the ridiculousness, the fighting, the fucking, the shitting, the pissing. You know, it's just, to me, it's like I just want to go home, right? Or to a hotel room, or you know, somewhere I can be a normal human being. But I'm not. I was like, if Woodstock happened today, I wouldn't go. Yeah. I'd just watch it on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's not my thing to get naked and fuck someone in the mud and get syphilis. You know, it's just crazy. It's not my thing.
It's not for everyone. Getting syphilis is just not for everyone.
Outdoor music festivals that stretch the course of a week. Right. They're not for everyone, but for some reason everyone goes. And that's what baffles me. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Even if I was booked, like I'm thinking, like, how am I going to get in there? I got to get the set time, get the location. Do I have to travel through the carnival? They call it the Dark Carnival, I think. Do I have to walk through the carnival to get to my circus tent to do my show?
It's in like some remote area.
They always pick like random farmers' fields in like Midwest United States or something. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a different place every time. I think I know two artists that I know that I'm friends with that go every year to perform. Yeah, at different levels. Wow. But like I know there's one group I work with called So Sick Social Club. They're on stage, and then there's the girl in clown makeup fucking herself with a Faygo bottle. It's just the Faygo thing right there, right? Like it gets to that degree where like I would go, and I'm married too, right? So like my wife would let me go. Not that I have to ask permission or anything, but just to know that that's the kind of horseplay that's going around. Yeah. You know, it's a little bit absurd.
I've heard the crowd is tough there, and people throwing things
at they throw piss and shit at people. They don't like the performers. Like, what's her name? Tila Tequila was there, and she did a nude show. Right. And they threw a bag of shit at her or something.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Like, why? Yeah. What is so unappealing that you need to stop that? Please put your clothes back on.
I don't know. Yeah, symbolically, I wonder what she represented to them.
The only thing I can imagine is someone that they really loved was about to come on right after her, and they were just sick of waiting. Oh, okay. I can't imagine any other way of justifying that. Right. Like, you should respect whoever's on the stage, right? But yeah, you know, what the fuck? They're a rough crowd. So you got to be careful what you say. But I don't really give a fuck. Yeah. You know. If they don't like me, well, you know, fuck, they don't like me. I'm not talking about any particular person.
Yeah, no, man.
I'm being prejudiced to a whole group of people. Yeah. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
Equality, and that everyone is getting this prejudice.
Yeah. You're all being prejudged, okay?
One of the first times I ever heard about horrorcore was Necro.
Yes.
I can tell you. And I knew this would come up in the discussion just because it's Necro. So
he's a fan of the new song, by the way.
Yeah, like have you? Yeah.
He told me.
Has he been an influence, like a major?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, listening, I think I heard a song called STD from him, and he starts off. He's like, I was walking in the park and I saw her. She was beautiful. And he's like, I took her to my house, and the fucking bitch had syphilis. And he starts talking about how he's beating the fuck out of her and stuff. And at the time, after listening to like all the bogus shit, I was like, wow, this is awesome. This guy's really killing it. Like, you know, and at the time it was like all Napster and the way you got your music, especially underground music. You either had to go to HMV and randomly pick a CD by the cover. You had to judge it by the cover because it was like Sam the Record Man was the only place that would let you listen to it before you bought it. and normally you don't go all the way down there to go buy a fucking CD. And yeah, so you just judge it, and he had this cover with like a guy playing piano and his fingers all shredded up with razor blades, and I'm like, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Right? And then it was all instrumentals, and that's where I started rapping actually over that instrumental CD.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I made some of my earliest stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, because I remember getting some of his stuff for the first time on vinyl. You know, it's a white cover, and there's a bunch of like different snapshots on there of him. It's got necro and black writing. I have it downstairs. I can show it to you later.
I would like to see it.
But you know, when the first time I heard this, I thought this is like angry guy music.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
like
I mean? But then
he's
you
like,
go to the concert, and it's not like that. There's a lot of girls who are like,
yeah, that's another thing. I didn't think that I would have female fans because
Right.
I wasn't catering to a
Right.
dance market or to like, let's have fun and party.
Right.
Like that wasn't what I was doing. I was like, fuck you, I'll fuck you with a fucking brick, you
Right,
stupid
right.
cunt. And then
Yeah.
they'd be like, yeah, we love you.
I know,
Why?
it's
I
bizarre.
don't know,
Yeah.
but fuck.
yeah.
You know, maybe it's like every woman likes different types of men, right?
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like some women want a guy who works at the bank. Some women
Right.
like a guy who builds a house. Some women like a guy who does porn.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Why? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Just be lucky if you're one of the guys that women like, and then you have one.
No, and then I saw him twice in real life. I saw
You know, I
him-
never actually saw
Yeah.
him, but I was negotiating something to do with him. But I don't think he's touring
Yeah.
Canada anytime soon. I think
Yeah,
he's just
actually, I
laying
did
back
see
with his new
him.
album.
Yeah, the second time I saw him was in Ottawa, which was an even bigger show. The first time I saw him was here at Comfort Zone in like early 2000.
Yeah, that would probably be the time I just started listening to him. Right? I was just fucking 15 or something. at the time,
Yeah,
probably.
no, he was Ill Bill or someone. There was Mr. Hyde. Was it Mr.
Mr.
Hyde?
Hyde is his
Yeah.
sidekick,
Yeah,
basically.
it was
Yeah,
him, Mr. Hyde, and Ill Bill. But
that'd be sick.
But he stepped it up a notch, if you can call it that, at the Ottawa show. Like he brought girls on stage. They were
Yeah, and he was like
naked.
sticking a mic up them and
Like,
stuff, right?
Yeah, it was turning into porn.
Yeah, he was
Basically,
legit
live porn.
doing it. Yeah, that was one thing I liked about him. Not that I liked it in like a fucking creepy way, but I thought that like this guy doesn't give a fuck about nothing.
Yeah.
Like he is just all out. Yeah, and these bitches were stripped down to their high heels,
Yeah,
and they'd be dancing
they
there,
would be fans.
butt ass fucking naked, and their boyfriends in the crowd like, like what the fuck? You know, it's brutal. That was brutal shit. Yeah, when I remember back when I started doing shows like the Rock Pile and stuff, I'd be regularly doing shows there. Girls come up on stage and take their shirts off.
Yeah.
Woo! Just I guess.
Right.
What? Okay. You know, and then and it's one of those things like you think you can't ask them to do that. They won't do it if you ask them. You just have to be spurt. No, you can ask them. They'll fucking do it. Who's gonna come up here and take their fucking tits out like the guy that comes on before me? And they all do it. I'm like, what the fuck? I guess just because the audience is there and it's the feeling of the and the fact that all of the men they've ever known are looking up to the people on this stage.
Right.
And I
right.
guess that must be something to do with it because
Yes.
it's definitely not catering to them in a way that they can relate in any shape.
Yes.
They can't dance to it. They can't relate to it. It's actually derogatory towards them.
That's right. That's the thing. That's the
You
thing that
know,
surprises me most.
And it,
Yeah.
like it surprises me too.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got more female fans than men fans actually, which is crazy.
That's exactly
because
what
I've never
surprises me,
catered to a female market.
Yeah.
Because I don't listen to female music because I don't like it. I don't like Justin Bieber and Drake. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's boring.
But
To me,
imagine,
it's like, oh my
that's
God,
imagine
fuck.
that's the answer to like the age old question: what do women want? They want this is the kind
They
of
don't
lyrics.
know. They don't know what the
This-
fuck they
this is-
want.
but this
That's
is-
what they want.
But these are the lyrics. That's what you should have been saying from day one.
Yeah.
Not being nice. You should have been, talking like necro.
Yeah. He is like the poster boy for misogynism. Like I feel like if you ever feel down, like if a woman's ever got you down, you put on his song Who's Your Daddy and you automatically feel like you're king of the world just for being a man.
Yeah. No,
Because he's so fucking like direct and so
Yes.
chauvinistic that he's like he does for the chauvinistic movement what like these protesters and women do for the feminists. Like it is like a next level. It's okay, and they say it's not okay because it's demoralizing or whatever. But if you ever feel like a girl ever broke your heart or something, you put on Who's Your Daddy and you're like, yes, that is me. We are doing this. Fuck you, bitch. He's like, fuck you and your ass to your fishnets. Fucking bitch, down to eat shit next.
It's
I'm like,
like-
yes, tell her.
it's like Dice Clay. It's like Andrew Dice Clay on steroids.
Exactly, yeah. It's the shock value stuff, right?
I know, but it's so visual. And that's the thing too. It's really visual. It's like the painters.
Yes, that's what
yeah.
people said that about my stuff. It's comic book rap.
Yeah,
It's been
yours
called.
is very visual too.
It's
yeah.
very like you see pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's important in this genre specifically because if you're making horrorcore and you can't envision what the guy's saying,
Right.
then why? I know my new stuff's a little more poetic and less visual, but it's still like I try to make it more like a deeper thought
Yeah.
song. It's not just like
But that's why I do like the darker side, whether it's yours, horrorcore, or even stuff that's dark but that's not horrorcore, like Mobb Deep. I love.
Yeah, me too.
Because they're light on the metaphors and they're real on the raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they use some metaphors and like some witty twist of phrases, but they're not trying to. Again, the whole gimmick thing. They're not trying to like impress you.
Keeping it plain.
Yeah.
But
I
still
love
good.
That. It's
You're
hugely
gritty. It's the
powerful.
grittiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really keeping it real.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They call it keeping it real.
I know.
Because the real isn't actually the context of the music. It's like the feel.
Yeah.
You feel it when you hear it. This is real shit.
Yeah.
Could be about anything.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh, this is real. Like LL Cool J shit. It's like, oh, this is real. And then Necro, oh, this is real. And then, Rob Zombie, you're like, yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
Dragula, yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
But there's nothing real about it, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's a soul. The song has a soul. It's a heart.
Absolutely.
It's alive. What the fuck is he even saying? What does this even mean? I love it.
But you know what? Absolutely. But you kind of touched on it for a second before when you were talking about how you did the whole Mad Child collaboration. But I'm wondering, especially because your stuff is so like dark, you got to tap into a place of your imagination that's, I don't know if you want to call it, like diabolic or sinister or evil, but like, I just imagine like it takes some time to get into that zone. So like how or how would you? I guess what I'm trying to say is like how do you sit down and write those kind of lyrics? Like, do you have a ritual? Do you go through?
Well, the song was called "Fuck Love," the Mad Child one, for example.
Right,
and I'm
right.
walking downtown,
Right.
and I was just in a bit of a bad mood, and I was talking with another friend of mine that was a rapper, and I was kind of writing the verse, and I'm like, I was trying. The first line, the opening line was, I say, ain't nothing to joke about. You ain't got a hope in hell. Stomping on your chest until your broken ribs poking out. And I was trying to perfect the wording and the syllables and, to get that right. Because I was like, this is the most fucking intense thing I've ever opened a verse with. Right. And I was also trying to come up with the idea for the song. So why I called it Fuck Love. And originally I was going to call it Fuck You for Loving Shit. In like a funny way, right? And then we were walking and then these guys came out of a cubby all drunk. And, like, it was broad daylight, and he, like, staggered into me, and he's like, oh, I fucking love this. Like, oh, I'm just having the best time of my life. I'm like, fuck you for loving shit, fucking prick. And my buddy's like, fuck you for loving shit. That was fucking brutal. I'm like, yeah, I'll write it down. And then I ended up making the entire song around it.
Yeah.
And called it Fuck Love. And I figured Fuck Love would get a little more attention.
Right.
Be a little more marketable.
Yeah.
So I tried to find a balance, I did name the song a swear word, but at the same time, made it tidy.
Yeah. So you're not necessarily alone. Like you could just be walking down the street. It's not that you're in a room, candles lit dark. It's
no.
That kind of thing.
I write as I live.
Okay.
I don't actually write songs. I don't sit down with a piece of paper and go, I have to write a song. Why don't I write some songs? Blah, 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 blah,
because
blah,
I can't
blah, blah,
see someone like you just sitting down in a Starbucks with a latte. Okay.
With my laptop and my fucking
with
beanie
those sorts of lyrics, jab you in the.
Yeah, and then some guy sitting beside me is reporting me to the authorities.
No, but nobody's knowing. Jab you in the.
Yeah. Tear out your eyes and piss in the cavities. Yeah. No, I think a lot of the times I would just come up with it just in everyday life. Like, I'd come up with ideas for songs,
Like based on real life irritations, I guess.
Right.
Especially my new song, like Night Terrors. I woke up and I'm like, last night I had a nightmare and woke up with a smile. And I started writing it.
Yeah.
Out of bed, grabbed my phone, started jotting it down instantly because I came up with it.
Right.
And a lot of it I just came up with, like, either walking. I used to walk a lot. And when I was walking, I'd just come up with songs like that. Or sometimes it would just come to me. And then sometimes it would come to me all at once. Like some of the most complex stuff. I have entire songs where it's like every syllable is just perfectly placed. It just came to me in the speed I could fucking make the song. And then other times I'll go like 3 months and not write a single line.
Yeah.
It depends. I'm not in control of it.
You also don't force it to.
Right.
I never did.
Right.
And that's I was just lucky that I have an overactive imagination, so I'd always have content, even though I wasn't sitting down and like, time to buckle down and get some songs written. That's when you write the wackest shit, right? Time to like really just try to be creative. You can't try to be creative. You know, it's something that happens. You can't just sit down and go, I'm going to write a song about disembowelment and rape and all kinds of lovely stuff. And I'm just going to Never. I've never done that. I know some people do, and I think their music is lacking something.
Yeah, it's
It's
forced.
the realness.
Yeah.
You could feel the effort.
Yeah.
You feel like I don't like reality TV as much as I like scripted TV. Personally, I like a good scripted fucking thing where somebody's put some effort into what they're saying. They're entertaining me for real.
Yeah.
You know, not just like the Kardashians going out for coffee. Like, who gives a flying fuck about these bitches and their fucking shit? But women, they love it. They eat it up. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't fucking know why.
relatable factor. I don't know.
I don't know.
Starbucks.
I think just because it's on,
Right.
or they feel they're supposed to like it.
Yeah.
It's the popular thing. It's the thing that we like. So let's like.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all just
Probably, yeah.
like Fago.
Like Fago, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about women today. Kardashians and Fago.
Yeah, Fago and Kardashians are very similar
I know.
marketing strategies.
But I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in her mixtape or just music collection, Kardashians got necro.
Probably.
It's like
One of them must.
like I just
Maybe the brother that you never
these
see
days,
hiding in the background.
I'm hearing of all kinds of like people liking this music and that because it's just so accessible now, and they're running into stuff they thought they would never like all the time. Because before you only had one chance. You went to the music store.
And you had to pay for shelf space
exactly.
back then,
so
you know?
you didn't have that.
So,
like,
if you didn't have a
luxury
good marketing campaign, you weren't getting shelf space at HMV.
right.
Fuck you. Unless you were already so popular.
Yeah.
And most of the time, independent artists aren't that popular, right? So, if you wanted shelf space before Napster, then, that was a difficult thing to do. Nowadays, they're fucking paying you to take shelf space. Like, please, put your CD on my shelf. Nobody else wants it there.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not manufacturing CDs to put on your shelf. Fuck you. Waste my money. Yeah, fuck. When you could sell fucking 1,000 copies digital and what, 20 or 30? But you have to print fucking 1,000 copies to sell 20 or 30. Fuck off.
If you wanted to become like a hermetic rapper, you could basically stay in your apartment all day from production to like distribution and never leave once.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You order the pizza, like you never leave once, and then people are like,
Yeah.
you perform. No.
Isn't that where indie rock spawned as a genre?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't.
Staying at home, yeah.
Yeah, you stay at home, you make some music, you put it up on iTunes
Right.
exclusively at a time. It was just iTunes.
Right.
Anything else was whack.
Yeah.
iTunes was the thing.
Right.
And I used to just exclusively distribute through iTunes too, like for my second album.
Right.
And then I realized like everything's changing now too. Like and I'm coming out with this new project. I'm trying to relearn how the music industry is working and everything, how to promote things. It used to be like find a guy with a popular YouTube channel, put your video on it.
Right.
Right? Find a guy with a popular Facebook channel, get him to share your stuff. Right? And then watch it just happen. If as long as it was good and you're smart about it. But now it's different. Now you got to like submit to like 50,000 different blogs and try to get them to share it. And like, because otherwise no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
I think another thing with like Facebook promo, if Mark Zuckerberg has beef with any specific corporation, for example, YouTube, good luck getting anyone to see a YouTube video on fucking Facebook. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
He wants you to upload direct.
That's what's happening a lot.
You notice that?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence. You share a YouTube. I share a status about, with me playing a ukulele. I get fucking 50 likes. I share my video. Nothing.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, when's that new song coming out? Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, you fuck. Right? How dare you give me the access and then take it away?
I know. It's like
Lord giveth, Lord taketh away. So then I was starting to realize there's, I got to find out who he's partnered with, as who the Facebook corporation's partnered with, and which music outlets, and those are the ones you should be sharing on Facebook.
Because the thing is, like, those videos are inviting you. The ones that are on Facebook, they're inviting you to press play because they already started. When you scroll over them,
Exactly.
It's like YouTube. No, you guys are outsiders, but we
I
started.
noticed that. Yeah, I put the same video with the goat head on Facebook.
Yeah.
Same day, 5,000
Yeah.
views.
Oh,
Nothing.
Yeah.
What? And then they stopped. They said, "Oh, we can't share this because it's violent content." I don't see how it's violent because it's I'm just playing with an animal's head. It could be prosthetic for all they know.
Right.
I never went and told anybody, "Hey, this is a real head." Facebook, just so you know. I figured I'd just tell you guys that I bought it at the butcher shop with my own money. It's my fucking goat's head. I can do what I want with it.
Right.
Right? It's not like I was fucking it.
I know.
I just don't understand, right? Same with my album cover is another example of like me trying to find a balance. Like I wanted to make something artistic, and I figured I'd have the nipples not showing, right? So they're not, no nipples. Still, Facebook calls it pornographic.
Wow,
Really?
Tries to downplay it again.
bizarre.
They fucking hate me over there at Facebook.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I don't know what their problem is. I'm like, oh, can I just boost this post to my fans on my fan page?
Yeah.
No, it's pornographic. Can't do it, right? Fuck you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like there's no tits. Oh, even if it's artistic, it still could be offensive to our sponsors.
What?
Oh, fuck off.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, YouTube did the same thing to me years ago. Like when I came out with the Mad Child song, like I was getting paid by Google for I was monetizing the videos with advertising, and I was starting to get paid. I was getting checks from Google with my name on them. It said Google, Gordon South, X amount of dollars every month. And it was awesome.
Wow.
I was like, this is the best.
That's rad, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a message saying, oh, our sponsors and blah, 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 some of your content. And there's a few songs that were really over the top offensive, and they didn't like that very much. Wow. And so they banned me from monetizing on Google.
Wow.
Google will not monetize anything I do as Trash Gordon. And I need a manager to monetize my work as Gunpowder Solution, actually. Because they just don't want nothing to do with me. They think I'm just a bad look. They don't want to offend their advertisers, right? So say somebody's advertising Pepto-Bismol over my song called Jack the Raper, right? People are like, we're getting mixed messages here, right? So I guess I see where they're coming from at the same time. But it was a stream of revenue that I was getting that you need as a musician. You need to get money everywhere you can get it. Because most people are just downloading your shit for free anyways. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why now Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, now every time someone listens to my song, I get paid.
Nice.
And it's a lot
could you
better.
make a living off that? Or is it possible?
Off of Google? YouTube, very, very, very possible.
Yeah.
Considering I only had, 50, 60,000 plays, I was getting checks for $300. Wow. So imagine the people who got 60 million plays.
Yeah.
Shit,
They're getting
that's
cut
right.
hundreds of thousands of dollar checks probably on a regular basis. Like as long as the views are coming in, the more views you get, the faster, the more you get per view. Like they had it all worked out for me, assholes.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, fuck Google.
It's like
You heard it here.
Go to Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, bring back Jeeves.
Yeah, fuck
Bring back Jeeves. Where'd he go, man? Guy was helpful.
Yeah. So what are some of the future projects you're working on?
Just with this band, the Gunpowder Solution Band.
Yeah.
This is the band I formed. I wanted to do something obviously different than what I was doing with the horrorcore stuff. I wanted to do an outlet where I had the ability to be more creative and stay out of a niche market where all the fans were expecting me to come up with the same shit. So I wanted a way to do something different without disappointing everybody. Like if I was ever going to go back and do another Trash Gordon album, to me now it's like done. Costs nothing, takes no time. Fucking I could do it in a weekend, come out with an album. But this with the full band as a project, you need producers, you need engineers, you need professional musicians from all levels.
Right.
Put this fucking thing together, mixed, mastered, fucking Jesus Christ, publishers and all this nonsense. But it's worth it to me because I just wanted to make something that I felt proud of making. So the project is we're gonna finish the album. This is the first single. Originally it was gonna be a demo, and I decided do it all the way, make it a single. Because fuck a demo, fuck a label. If the label wants to contact me, then cool, and we'll talk business. But I'm not going to go brown-nosing and shit.
Right.
Because you're only going to get ripped off anyways doing that kind of stuff. They'll be like, sure, well, fuck you.
Yeah, because they could see the eagerness.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this guy's desperate. Let's fuck him.
It's kind of
Yeah.
pretty much
and
how it
if
goes,
you have to meet the right people. So,
Right.
like, for example, I did a show with Canadian Music Week a couple of years ago, and I had a demo that I did with a band. That was the first time I worked with a band, and like the first day we jammed, and I was like, okay, this is wicked. Tomorrow, let's produce a song. Let's get the mics in. Let's get the Pro Tools. Let's make it a rough demo. And then, bam, we all buckled down, made the demo, and then I went to meet what's the guy's name now? I can't remember, but he runs the Warp Tour. But I went up to him because he was doing his thing, and I just was like, hey, you gotta, I'm like, nice to meet you. You gotta put my band on the Warp Tour. We gotta do this. He's like, oh yeah, okay. Well, let me hear your music. And I heard it, and then I got an email back from him, and he's like, okay, you need to confirm this and that. Like he was legit ready to put me on the Warped Tour. And then the band's like, well, one guy's like, oh, I want to be a movie director now. And the other guy's like, well, I got a gig with an indie band and I just want to hit a cymbal with a brush instead. Oh. And then like I got from a horror movie, like a fairly big budget horror movie, wanted me to do a mastered recording of the same song. And they were going to use it in the soundtrack in their movie. And I just couldn't get the fucking assholes together. So then I said, fuck you all. Yeah. And then I got my engineer at the time to start working with me. And he's an amazing musician. He does everything. So then me and him decided to start the band. Then I named it Gunpowder Solution. And then I started just working like that and using drummers from studio gigs. Because we went through fucking 100 drummers in Rehearsal Factory. Wow. In and out. And either they couldn't keep up. Yeah. They were little snooty fucking assholes. There's just a million problems with that kind of shit. I didn't understand the undertaking that, like, what I was taking on. I'm like, I figured it's so easy. Get 3 fucking people together, make some fucking music, and shut up. We got opportunities out the fucking ass.
You had to do this sort of like, you should have chose me before I even got here.
Yeah, and then I got an email from like a big PR firm in Toronto just last week. Right. Wants to come out and see Gunpowder Solution perform. So I call one of my buddies, promoter. All right, let's do this. He's like, okay, contact the band. Well, me. What the fuck, man? What are you even trying to do? Are you a musician, really? Like, who the fuck would turn up that opportunity? Are you fucking... Are you new?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, almighty. It's very annoying, but it's worth it somehow.
It's an industry of egos, really.
It is. Yeah, and they're all just, like, very sensitive, very limp dick. It's taxing. You know, and you got to keep your demeanor, right?
Right.
Nice to meet you.
That's right.
I still don't hate your guts. Let's do the show, even though you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Right? And we all know it. The crowd knows it.
Yeah.
I know it. You know it. Your mom knows it. Fuck you. I fucking hate that shit, you know? And then, or you get the drummers like, yeah, man, I'd love to audition for your band, and then just doesn't show up. Or one guy, he contacts me several times, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Then he doesn't show for the first one, doesn't show for the second one. Then he's like, all right. And then he shows up for one. He turns out to be pretty good. I like him, right? And I'm like, all right, let's do a show together. I'll do a hip-hop show, you do the drums, right? And he's like, okay. Doesn't show up. And we were opening for a fairly big act. I think we're like Nonfiction or something. Like I was opening for a fairly large hip-hop act. Yeah. And this guy doesn't even show up. Like, what are you fucking... Wow. Some people just... I feel like they don't care about their careers. And then I can take it like... I can say, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe they think I'm whack and retarded. But why are they messaging me then? Yeah. Why do they want to pursue me and tell me they want to be part of my project and then cancel because they don't like me? So I don't really know what to think about it. Because I'm a rapper, I guess I could be insecure that way, like, you know, but fuck, I don't know. I feel like give me your instrument, I'll play it better than you anyways.
Sometimes I wonder whether it's self-sabotage, whether these guys, even the talented ones, they don't believe in themselves.
I think maybe they're cowards, you don't got the fucking balls to get up there and let naked bitches dance around you while you play your music. What's the matter with you? Like, what the fuck, man? I thought this was the dream. Like, I remember when I got booked for my first show over MySpace. Yeah. I was scared at first. I was only like 19. Right. And I was like, oh no. It's going to be like Mobb Deep crowd, you know? Right. I thought it was going to be like 8 Mile. Yeah. They'll all be like, boo, you know? And then I got there and it was just a bunch of fucking hipsters everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they loved it. They ate it up. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good experience. And then from there, I just kept doing shows like fucking 4 or 5 times a month. Even in just Toronto, I would just do them everywhere I could. I've probably been in every hole-in-the-wall venue for the first 3 years that you could think of. I've been there, screamed at everybody, maybe 10 to 100 people, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. There's 3 people, I'm still going on stage. Why? I don't know, but I did it. Nowadays, I come in, there's 3 people, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you're not paying me at least $200, I'm not getting on that fucking stage.
Right.
To what? To entertain 3 people? What am I? I'm not a fucking butler. But when you're that young, you're so ambitious that, you know, you just want to have that show under your belt, put it on your press kit.
That's right.
You know, I did this show at this place. I was hired and I did the job. Yeah. You know, but nowadays I walk in like, why the fuck do I come to these things? Who invited me to this one? Even if I'm just attending, like you look in, you're like...
It's always those shows that, you know, the promoter calls you like 2 days in advance. You have no idea how big this show is going to be. This is the show of your career. You got to be here. You show up.
And then there's like 5, and they're sitting down and they're like people that were dragged out by the act before you, so they don't even give a flying fuck about your music. That's a big thing, actually. there's a difference between performing in front of people that were dragged out by the openers or people that were there to see your specific brand of music. Either me in specific or someone very similar to me that I could take them as fans. I could earn their fanship. You know what I mean? Instead of just like some guy's drunken girlfriend and all her stupid tart friends that are there just because they got dragged out and they thought it'd be a cool party time. And now I'm here wasting my time. Because I know they're not going to be like, wow, this guy's blowing me away. Or when I opened for like the Slipknot guys, people are chanting my name before I came on stage. Full house, chanting my name. I couldn't believe it. I come out, everybody's going nuts. Guy in the front row's crying real tears. Saying I should be the headliner during my set. And then Sid Wilson comes up on stage and goes, man, I heard you from back there. That's amazing. We should link up. And he's just giving me all these compliments. Of course, I never messaged him. I probably should have. You think about the stuff 10 years later. No, that was in like 2012.
Oh, okay.
That was a big experience, having a crowd chant my name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm like, I look at the sound guys we're like, oh, what's going on? People are chanting for me? This guy? Fuck. That was awesome. Yeah. So I had a few experiences where I had a really good response from a big audience. Like, and when I opened for Tech 9, he'd sell like 1,000 tickets on his own. And I'd go up on stage and the whole fucking, all you see is his heads as far as you can see.
Yeah.
And they're just screaming and cheering for everything you do. And that's why I really love doing that, Yeah. That's probably the best part about making music.
Yeah.
When you go from performing in front of 30 people to performing in front of 1,000 people, and 1,000 real fans of this music. These aren't drunken broads. These are, sure, some of them are, but these are like 1,000 people who genuinely are there to see you do your thing. Right. And there's nothing you can't buy that. That's the best. That's the best feeling you could have as a musician.
For sure.
Okay. So that was an intense discussion.
He's an intense man. He's he's a very, very likable man for having such unlikable themes in his music, which is very interesting.
I know. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I definitely notice there's a disconnect between like the horror, the gore, all that in his music, and just how affable of a person he is, easy to talk to.
Yeah, he's a blast to be around. But I think if I didn't ever meet him and I just listened to his lyrical content, I would maybe to a certain degree even be like scared to meet this guy, because I think this guy's definitely got to have like this super negativity about him. But
or have any sense of humor, which he has. Obviously, he's almost like a stand-up comic. Yeah, he's like a similar fusion. I like that integrity about him. He kind of like fuses what he grew up with inside the house, the old rock of his dad and everything, the rock he was listening to, the grunge of the 90s, with what he came to like a little later on in life, without pretending that was never him. Some people do that, right? Especially with music subcultures. That was never really me, or I was just going through a phase. He kind of owns it,
For sure.
It's like he embraces both,
He's a very honest guy. I think he's very honest to other people, but extremely honest to himself.
So you're not going to want to miss next week.
Why is that, Paul?
We're talking to the Slut Whisperer.
Oh shit! You've piqued my interest. What's this about sluts?
Okay, so I can't say too much right now, but champagne facials is his trademark signature.
Well. What does that mean? Find out next week. Until then.
This is The Dark Room.